And yeah, if I did do it, it was fun. Hello, another video for King's War, and this is the Goblins. Now, the Goblins are another one of their races in King's War which are stereotypically fantasy based. There's a lot of them, you find them everywhere. If they are able to band a lot together, they usually band a hell of a lot together, otherwise they are pretty naff. The thing about the Goblins also is they are small, and the more of them there are, the braver they are. They also tend to have a lot of bigger creatures to help them out, like trolls, giants, that sort of thing. And yes, we will get on to what other mechanical things, because I suppose you could say the Goblins are a bit technologically advanced in a sense that they create things and it might not look like it works well, but that'd only happen if you put it in the hands of an orc. In a goblin, you could see it working. So, if you're following along in the big book, it starts on page 375. The alignment is evil and the special upgrade is Mop-Up. This unit is equipped with a Mop-Up, which must be used when this unit attacks in melee. During a melee, a Mop-Up grants the unit an additional 6 attacks which always hit on 4+, and are resolved with the crushing strength 1. These attacks should be resolved separately before the unit's normal attacks and do not inherit special rules from the unit, nor do they double/triple attacks against flanks or rears. The unit's Mop-Up is then destroyed and cannot be used again for the remainder of the game. A unit can only carry a single Mop-Up at a time. This isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. It does mean you potentially can cause some hits on an enemy. And when we get to the war engines, there is a war engine that gives units that are able to a free Mop-Up, which, I mean, let's face it, just buy a Mop-Up and then every turn after, Mop-Ups for everyone. It's not a bad upgrade. It's not a bad upgrade. Maybe not every turn, but well, maybe not for every unit, should I say, but here and abouts a few units, plus you've got the free Mop-Up every turn sort of thing if you want, but we'll get to that. So the infantry then on page 357, starting with the sharp sticks. Speed 5, melee 5+, defense 4+. Regiment 15 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 95 points. Horde 30 attacks, nerve 19, 21, 155 points. Legion 35 attacks, nerve 25, 27, 230 points. They've got phalanx and they can take Mop-Up for 10 points. Maybe take a Mop-Up, because like I said, Mop-Up's not bad. For an upgrade, 6 attacks which always hit on 4s with crushing strength 1, that's not bad. And on units with phalanx, that does nullify flying units and cavalry and other units with thunderous charge a little bit, which is always great. Sharp sticks ain't bad. They hit on 5s. Their defense is a bit low, yes, but if you hoard them out or you legion them out, then it's pretty brilliant, as is the number of attacks they've got. I'd have thought as a legion they'd have 40 attacks, but it is what it is. Rebel next. Speed 5, melee 5+, defense 4+. Regiment 12 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 75 points. Horde 25 attacks, nerve 19, 21, 125 points. Legion 30 attacks, nerve 25, 27, 108 points, and can take a Mop-Up for 10 points. They're not bad. You're basically the cheapest stuff you can take. I mean, for a legion with 30 attacks, nerve 25, 27, 180 points, 190 for a Mop-Up. They're cheap. That's you just want them there to unlock stuff, to give you stuff like the ranged infantry, the not cavalry, the monsters, the war engines, you know, whatever sort of thing. The cheap, that's the main thing of them. The nerve's good when you've got hordes or legions, and the cheap. That's it. Lastly, for the infantry is the Luggit Gang. Speed 5, melee 4+, defense 4+. Troop 15 attacks, nerve -15, -11, 105 points. Regiment 20 attacks, nerve -15, 160 points. Brutal, crushing strength 1, wild charge D3, and can take a morp up for 10 points. I'd say a maybe on these. The problem is you can only take them as a troop or a regiment. I don't see the point of a troop for these whatsoever. I can see the point of a regiment because the amount of attacks ain't bad. Yes, the amount of attacks for a troop is pretty decent, but their nerve is terrible. They've got brutal and crushing strength 1, which is helpful. Speed 5, so minimum, and wild charge D3, so minimum charge distance is 11, maximum charge distance is 13, which ain't bad. I don't know if I'd give these a more pup. I'd keep them as cheap as possible, to be honest. 60 points for a regiment is a little bit pricey, but they've got crushing strength 1 and brutal, which does sway it a little bit. I'd possibly take a few of these because they're fearless. Don't take too many of them because I don't think these will be your winning units. What you could do with them is have a legion of sharpsticks or rabble, and then have a regiment of Luggits charging round the side while the enemy is busy dealing with the sharpsticks or the rabble. That's, I think, the best way to use them. They don't have nerve, they don't really have the numbers of the sharpsticks or the rabble to be as effective, I don't think. So, the ranged infantry on page 357. There's only one, and they are the Spitters. They are irregular. Speed 5, melee 6, range 5+, defense 3. Regiment 10 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 90 points. Horde 20 attacks, nerve 19, 21, 160 points. They've got bows which are 24-inch range. Maybe on these. I'd only say maybe because if you hold them out with 20 attacks, hitting on 5s with at range, they're bound to hit something. I wouldn't take them as a regiment because 10 attacks hitting on 5, it doesn't feel like you're going to hit enough, I don't feel like. Plus with a horde, the nerve ain't bad. Next we have the large infantry then on page 375. They are the Trolls. Speed 6, melee 4+, defense 5+. Regiment 9 attacks, nerve 11, 14, 115 points. Horde 18 attacks, nerve 14, 17, 190 points. Crushing strength 2 and regenerate 5+. I don't know why they're fearless or they haven't got brutal, but you know, whatever. I mean, come on, the Trolls, they do what they do. They hit things really well and they regenerate pretty decently. And points cost is not bad. A regiment of 3 for 115 points. That's fairly decent. A horde for 190, a little bit expensive, but again, they do what they need to do, so yeah, they're not bad. Cavalry then, starting on page 357. Starting with the Fleabag Rider Sniffs, which are irregular. Speed 10, melee 4+, range 5+, defense 3+. Troop 7 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 105 points. Regiment 14 attacks, nerve 12, 14, 160 points. Nimble, vicious in melee, and they've got short bows which are 18-inch range, steady aim. I would take these over the Spitters. Main reason being you've got more move and shoot options. Yes, they're less range, but a speed of 10, you're essentially getting a 28-inch range weapon if you manoeuvre them the right way. They've got nimble if necessary and vicious in melee, which, you know, they're not going to be that brilliant in melee, but it's a thing they've got. I I'd have them as a regiment, because anything less than 10 attacks for shooting doesn't feel worth it, especially if you're hitting on 5s. 14 attacks is just about good enough. That's the only way I'd use them. So next we have the More Beast pack. They are irregular, speed 6, melee 3+, defense 3+. Troop 6 attacks, nerve 911, 80 points. Regiment 12 attacks, nerve 1214, 120 points. They've got crushing strength 1, nimble, vicious in melee, wild charge D3. Upgrade to Mowers regiment. Mowers. You can only have one of these in your army, regiment only. No longer being irregular and increasing defense to 4 for 10 points. 130 points to not be irregular and defense 4 and a more beast pack. Maybe to be honest. Hitting on 3s, 12 attacks, crushing strength 1, 120 points. Nerve 1214. It's not bad. It's not bad, I suppose. The fast. I'd have thought they would be faster. I'd have thought they'd be speed 8 or something, or speed 10. Surely the flea bags are basically more beast without the goblins riding them. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. They're not bad. They're not bad. I don't know why all more beast type units haven't got not thunderous charge, crushing strength on them. Well, you know, whatever. The last for the cavalry is the Fleabag Riders. Speed 10, melee 4+, defense 4+. Troop 7 attacks, nerve 911, 100 points. Regiment 14 attacks, nerve 1214, 155 points. Horde 28 attacks, nerve 1921, 265 points. They've got nimble, thunderous charge 1, vicious in melee. They can take a more pup for 10 points. I can see the point of them. They're fast. They've got thunderous charge. They've got a fair number of attacks. I'd probably hoard them out. To be honest, 28 attacks with nerve of 1921, with thunderous charge 1, speed 10. They're not bad. Similar sort of cavalry is a lot more expensive, so you're not doing too bad, I don't think. The Chariots then, on page 358. We've got the Fleabag Chariots first, which are irregular. Speed 9, melee 4+, defense 4+, range 5+. Troop 8 attacks, nerve 1012, 125 points. Regiment 12 attacks, nerve 1214, 155 points. Horde 16 attacks, nerve 1416, 195 points. Legion 20 attacks, nerve 1719, 225 points. Thunderous Charge 2, vicious in melee, and they've got short bows which are 18-inch range. 4 attacks for a troop, 6 attacks for a regiment, 8 attacks for a horde, and 10 attacks for a legion, and they've got steady aim. Put them as a legion. The nerve's a bit too low, but the goblins, so that's kind of to be expected. Have them as a legion, to be honest. Other than that, I just wouldn't bother, to be honest. I just wouldn't bother. Mince Mob is also regular. Speed 5, melee 4+, defense 4+. Troop D6 plus 14 attacks, nerve dash 14, 160 points. Regiment D6 plus 21 attacks, nerve dash 16, 200 points. Big shield, brutal, crushing strength 1, thunderous charge 1. I'd have thought they'd have crushing strength 2, to be honest, considering it's I'm kind of copying word for word what James Hewitt said when he was talking to Beasts of War in Kings of War 1st edition. If you're old enough, or you've been shown it on DVD or something, the tunnelling machine from Labyrinth, it's basically that, but slightly smaller. Not much smaller, but slightly. It basically does the same thing. Either's pretty good. I mean, D6 plus 14 attacks, so that's a minimum of 15 attacks, maximum of 20 attacks. A regiment, you're getting a minimum of 22 attacks, maximum of 27. The nerves a little bit low, and the speed's again a little bit low. But big shield means the defense 6 at the front, so that is not negating, but downgrading some threats like dwarf shooting and nerdican shooting and whatnot. So they're pretty decent, I think. They're there at the late game where enemies and your units are getting wiped out either side, and then they pummel through and finish off the people that are left over. War engines, starting on page 358. We've got the war trombone to start with, which is essentially a giant blunderbuss. Well, I suppose to an ogre it'd be a normal sized blunderbuss, but to a goblin it'd be kind of like a cannon sort of thing, I suppose. Speed 5, range 4+, defense 4+. 10 attacks, nerve 8, 10, 65 points. It's 12-inch range, piercing 1, steady aim. It's cheap. It's cheap, that's its main thing. You have to protect it for it to work, otherwise it's just going to be decimated and you've just wasted 65 points. Hits on 4s with 10 attacks, piercing 1 and steady aim, so you can move and shoot with it. It's all flavours alright. The problem is its range is a bit short, but at 65 points you kind of need to take a hit somewhere, and the range is it. Next is the big rock thrower. Speed 5, range 5+, defense 4+. 2 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 90 points. It's 48-inch range, blast D3+1, ignores cover, indirect, piercing 3, reload. The name says what it says. It's basically a trebuchet or catapult sort of thing that just throws big rocks. 90 points, 2 attacks, both with having minimum of 2 hits, maximum of 4. So minimum of 1 hit, maximum of 8. That's not bad for 90 points. That's not bad. Your main problem is you are hitting on 5s, so take that into account. You have got brilliant range. Just keep them at the back. Possibly use it to hit the really big things, or maybe hit smaller units if necessary. I know it's got indirect, but you really want them big monsters going down before it clobbers your goblins now, don't you? Next we have the sharp sticks throwers. Speed 5, range 4+, defense 4+. 2 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 75 points. 48-inch range, blast D3, piercing 2, reload. I would probably take this over the big rocks thrower. The reason being is it's more accurate. Yes, the blast is not as good. The piercing is not as good either. It does not ignore cover and it's not indirect. But it's 15 points cheaper than the big rock thrower. It hits more accurately, hitting on 4s rather than 5s. So I'd go with that any day. Finally, we have the Morpup launcher. Speed 5, Speed 5, range 4+, defense 4+. 3 attacks, nerve 9, 11, 75 points. Morpup bombardment, which is 36-inch range, blast D3, ignores cover, indirect, reload. Morpup delivery, 36-inch range, indirect. This attack always hits on a 4+ and may only target friendly core units with the Morpup cage keyword. That is the fleet. I'll just check. That is the Fleabag Riders, the Sharp Sticks, the Rabble, the Luggets, and that's basically it. Basically anyone who can take a Morpup as an upgrade, including those in combat, so that's a really good support thing. Hits do not cause damage. Instead, if one or more hits is scored, the target receives a Morpup if able. This is a pretty good thing. It's 36-inch range, so you can keep it fairly far back. It's hitting on 4s. Yes, it has reload, which means if you move and shoot, you need 6s. But you've still got the option. Also ignores cover, so on certain units like the Fleabag Riders, it has its use on them, that. It also means everyone gets a free morp up. It's also 75 points, which isn't that expensive. It hasn't got any piercing on, which is weird. I thought it would have piercing on it because the more book that units come with have crushing strength 1 on them. So I don't. Maybe it's a case of they just throw the pup at them and then the teeth just smash into units, and because sharp teeth sort of thing. That's all I can think of. I'd have thought it had piercing 1 on it, but oh well. I mean it's not bad for a war engine. It's a really good support unit. I'd go between the Morpup launcher and the Sharpstick thrower for my choice of war engines, to be honest. The big rock thrower hits on 5, so it's the least accurate of the lot of them. The war trombone is short range, but it is the cheapest, so take what you get with that, I suppose. The Morpup launcher, I'd just love to see that just chucking really hairy, foul, dog-sized, hamster-packed people. I don't know what you'd call a more beast. The monsters, starting on page 359. We have the Mincer, which is not like the Mincer mob, it's a single one. Speed 5, melee 4+, defense 4+. Attacks D6 plus 6, nerve -11, 90 points. Big shield, brutal, crushing strength 1, thunderous charge 1. It's not bad on its own. D6 plus D6 attacks, you're getting a minimum of 7 attacks, maximum of 12. With crushing strength 1 and thunderous charge 1. Big shield means you sit on 6s on the front, which is brilliant. Possibly have them in on their own, perhaps. That way you can spread them out a bit, and your opponent's going to worry more about them, because on paper they look a bit naff, but once a lot of units have been destroyed, they can do clean up pretty well from what I can see here. Next we have the Goblin Blaster. Speed 5, melee 3+, range 5+, defense 5+. 3 attacks, nerve -10, 65 points. Blast D3, brutal, crushing strength 3. Makeshift grenades, 12-inch range, blast D3, piercing 1. Which ain't bad, I suppose. Boom, at the end of the turn which this unit scores successful hit in melee, it is immediately routed and removed from play. That's why it's got blast D6. 3 attacks hitting on 3s, that's pretty decent. It's pretty slow, which is its main downfall. Blast D3, so minimum of 1 attack, maximum of 18 with crushing strength 3 and brutal for 65 points. That's not really that bad. You can do a lot worse. I mean, it's the same points cost as war trombone, and let's face it, this has more chance of actually doing what it needs to. Yeah, I just like the fact it's a goblin making a couple of boars go forward towards the enemy with a cart full of explosive barrels and the like, and a goblin just carefully lighting a fuse and then running away. That's basically it. Yeah, it's pretty good for the points cost. It's pretty good. Last we have the Wingit. Speed 10, melee 5+, range 4+, defense 4+. 3 attacks, nerve 13-15, 120 points. Fly, nimble, fire bombs, which are 12-inch range, blast D3, ignores cover, piercing 1, steady aim, and vicious at ranged. Options: upgrade with a Goblin Spotter, allowing the use of the Eye in the Sky unique special rule, see below, for 10 points. What that does is, at the start of each range phase, you can immediately target and mark an enemy unit with anywhere within 24 inch of this unit, regardless of line of sight, because essentially it's flying really high up in the air, circling around, going, that one. For the remainder of the turn, all friendly core units with the lobber keyword targeting the mark unit have the elite special rule. Note this unit does not have the eye in the sky unless purchased. It's a shame it can't target friendly units for the Morpup launcher, otherwise that would be really, really decent. It does help the big rocks throw out a little bit, and the sharp sticks throw out a bit as well, but I'd use it as a irritation unit, chucking fire bombs a little bit and maybe get into combat. Don't get into combat. Fire bombs a little bit, just flying about, a few fire bombs here and there. Eye in the sky, I'd just use it on the sharp stick throws. I mean, you can use it on the Morpup launchers because it's a lobber, but you can't target friendly units to take full advantage of the fact it can support friendly units. It's a nice model. It's basically a bat made out of wood with two goblins sitting in it like fighter pilots, which is always cool. 120 points for what it is. 3 attacks, blast D3, so minimum of 1 attack, maximum of 9. We're piercing 1. Vicious, ignores cover. There's a point to take it. There's an argument to take it, I suppose. The Titans then, on page 360. Starting with the Giant. Speed 7, melee 4+, defense 5+. Attacks D6 plus 8, nerve 1820, 225 points. It's got brutal, crushing strength 4, fury and strider. Giants are brilliant. That's really all there is to say. Anything giant based, it just clobbers things. Minimum of 9 attacks, maximum of 14 with brutal and crushing strength 4. It's just basically there to just crush things. Its nerve's pretty decent, so there's not really a downside. I mean, it's got movements, it's got speed 7, so charge range of 14 inch. It's gonna hurt. Next we have the Goblin Slasher. Speed 7, melee 3+, range 5+, defense 5+. 8 attacks, nerve 1618, 210 points. Crushing strength 2, strider. It's got sharp stick thrower, which is 36 inch range, 2 attacks, blast D3, piercing 2, steady aim. That means you can move and shoot with it, and at height 6 it's gonna pretty much see what it needs to shoot at. There's arguments to take both the Giant and the Goblin Slasher. The Goblin Slasher is a mobile war engine with good nerve, able to smash things in combat pretty well because it hits on 3s rather than 4s. It's got less attacks and less nerve than the Giant and less crushing strength, but it's got a range attack and it's 15 points cheaper. It depends what you want. The Giant, I think, is overall better, but again, like I said, there's a point in taking the Goblin Slasher. If you don't want to spend the 75 points on a sharp stick thrower, you could just buy these and have a big monster and a sharp stick thrower all built in one. I don't know why the sharp stick thrower doesn't hit on 4s, but I suppose at 210 points, shut your face. The heroes then, starting on page 360. Starting with the Bigot. Now, that's spelt B-I-G-G-I-T. And I don't know if it believes goblins are the best thing ever and all other races are wrong. But there we go. Speed 5, melee 4+, defense 4+. 3 attacks, nerve 911, 55 points. Crushing strength 1, individual, inspiring. Mount on Fleabag, increasing speed to 10, changing to hero cavalry for 25 points. Exchange 2-handed weapon for a short bow, losing crushing strength but gaining range attack. Short bow 18 inch, range 4+ for free. It's just a cheap hero, isn't it? 55 points. We're inspiring, 3 attacks, crushing strength 1. there's better points. There's better things to spend your 55 points on, unless you've really got nothing to spend them on. Just take a couple of magic items. That'll make your points up. Next we have the King. The Bigot is a infantry hero. The King is also an infantry hero. Speed 5, melee 4+, range 4+, defense 4+. 5 attacks, nerve 12-14, 70 points. Crush strength 1, individual, inspiring, short bow, 18-inch range. Mount on Fleabag, increasing speed to 10 and changing to hero cavalry for 35 points. Jareth's pendant, and you can only have one of these in your army, gives aura headstrong for 15 points. Cannot be taken in addition to a Fleabag mount. I don't understand why, but whatever. Possibly. The only reason I'd take a King is just for Jared's pendant, because headstrong for all units with 6-inch range, that's going to be really amazing on basically anything. But ideally what I'm thinking on is your legions and your hordes. Mainly your trolls, your sharpsticks, your rabble, luggets I suppose, the Fleabags, the mincers, the goblin blaster, perhaps, that'd be funny, and maybe your titan things. I can see the point in doing that. It's 85 points, but that headstrong aura, maybe. The Bandit is an infantry hero also. Speed 5, melee 6+, range 4+, defense 4+. 3 attacks, nerve 9-11, 60 points. Individual, makeshift grenades which are 12-inch range, blast D3, piercing 1, shattering. Why not? Volatile explosives. When your opponent rolls to damage against this unit, rolls of unnatural modified 6s, deal 2 points of damage each instead of 1, because they might have shot a grenade and then it went off in his hands. 60 points to have a mobile grenade launcher. Well, then again, it's not that manoeuvrable because it's not got steady aim on the grenades. Then again, I suppose it wouldn't do. When you're chucking grenades about, is it really that easy to chuck them where you want them to if you're running about? 60 points. I might consider this hero, because at 60 points you're getting someone that's just chucking grenades about, and it's got shattering, so that's basically brutal, but at range. So yeah, yeah, why not? Flagit is a hero infantry also. Speed 5, melee 5+, defense 4+. 1 attack, nerve 8-10, 40 points. Individual, inspiring. Mount on a Fleabag, increasing speed to 10 and changing to hero cavalry for 25 points. Mount on a Fleabag if you want, give it a bit of speed. It's just basically a banner bearer, cheap inspiring. That's all it's there for. If you want, I suppose. The thing is, a King with Jareth's pendant does the same job, but as an added benefit, it's got headstrong. Yes, it's nearly the points cost of 2 Flagits, but it's a fair bit more effective. Snagit, hero infantry, speed 6, melee 3+, range 4+, defense 4+. 4 attacks, nerve 9-11, 75 points. Crush strength 1, duelist, individual, scout, stealthy, vicious, throw knives which are 12-inch range. And I thought it'd be fearless, to be honest, but it is what it is. It's essentially meant to be a hero killer. Have this standing at the back with other units in front of it, and then when you spot a hero, maybe divert off for it to kill them. Other than that, it's 75 points, which I mean, you could spend that on the Morpup launcher and it'd be a fair bit more effective. So unless you really look to kill heroes, don't bother, I don't think. King on a Chariot, which is a hero chariot. If you didn't know, are you surprised? I really am. Speed 9, melee 4+, range 4+, defense 4+. 7 attacks, nerve 13-15, 130 points. Crushing strength 1, individual. Sorry, I'll start that again. Crushing strength 1, inspiring, nimble, thunderous charge 1. Got a short bow which is 18-inch range, steady aim. I don't know why. Hang on. I know, Fleabag Chariots speed 9 as well. Yeah, fair enough. It's alright, innit? 7 attacks, hitting on 4s with Crush Strength 1 and Thunderous Charge 1. It's alright, I suppose. A troop is 125 points with 1 more attack and Thunderous Charge 2. It's taking no less base movement trace sizes. I suppose there's that. I can see a point of it working. I could see it working. Whiz is hero infantry, spellcaster rank 1. Speed 5, melee 5+, defense 4+. 1 attack, nerve 9/11, 45 points. Individual, and it's got lightning bolt 3. Options: mount on Fleabag, increasing speed to 10 and changing to hero cavalry for 25 points. Bane Chant 2 for 20 points, Hex 2 for 10 points, Weakness 2 for 15 points. If you're taking a lot of more beast launchers, I would possibly go for Bane Chant. Yes, Bane Chant doesn't stack with more pups, but once you've used the more pup, you can then have the Bane Chant just to smash more stuff on. Or then no, the Bane Chant won't cover it. Hex and Weakness aren't bad. Lightning Bolt 3 for 45 points. You could just leave it as that and have a cheap annoyance. Also, mount on a Fleabag, speed 10, running around. At Art 3, just shooting out little lightning bolts for 70 points. Maybe. I could see a point of taking a whiz. Could see a point. Lastly, we have the Troll Bruiser, who's a large infantry hero. Speed 6, melee 3+, defense 5+. 5 attacks, nerve 12/15, 110 points. Crush Strength 2, inspiring, troll only. Nimble, regeneration 5+. If you haven't got a lot of trolls in your army or having a troll army full stop, you kind of want to take a Troll Bruiser or 2. Also, they're not bad. I would like to have a few more attacks, but for 110 points, it's not bad. A lot of these big hulky heroes are usually a lot more expensive, but for 110 points, hitting on 3s with Crush Strength 2, that's not bad. I'd like to have a few more attacks on it, but it is what it is. Unique units on page 361. Starting with Magua and Jules. Hero Large Cavalry, spellcaster rank 2. Speed 6, melee 3+, defense 5+. 7 attacks, nerve 12/14, 150 points. Crush Strength 2, duelist, individual, inspiring, mighty, vicious in melee, wild charge D3. Lightning Bolt 4+. It is basically a whiz with a giant Moorbeast. 150 points with 7 attacks, Crushing Strength 2, hitting on 3s, defense 5 with Lightning Bolt 4, wild charge D3, so minimum charge range of 13, maximum charge range of 15. The only weakness is its nerves a bit low, but other than that, 150 points, I think it's pretty decent. I'd say take him. Cuzlo and Madfall. Large cavalry hero, spellcaster rank 1. Speed 8, melee 3+, defense 4+. 5 attacks, nerve 13/15, 145 points. Crush Strength 2, inspiring, self only. Nimble, pathfinder, regeneration 4+, vicious in melee. Ravenous Lizard, while within 6 inches of this unit, both friendly and enemy units have -1 to their wavering route nerve values. Sticky Tongue, these units enthrall spell only has a range of 12 inch when casting enthrall. In addition to moving the target, roll to damage for each hit scored, and it's got enthrall 5 and hex 3. This is pretty decent, like Magua and Juice, but the Ravenous Lizard rule is its main problem. It works on enemies, which is great, but it works on friendlies, which is bad. You want to have this near nothing. You want to have it on its own, maybe on the side waiting for the charge, or if someone's coming near it, just charge into it. Stats wise, it's not bad. It's slightly better nerve than Mauer and Jews. its nerves a little bit worse. It's also a lot faster, having a charge range of 16. It's 5 points cheaper, and also got sticky tongue, which the enthrall thing's not bad. It means you get to charge things. If someone's on the flank and just out of range, use the enthrall thing and move them closer to you, or maybe have the enthrall have it where move them closer to you, so another unit can charge them a bit easier. I'd go for Magua and Jews over Cuzlo and Madfall because it's a bit more effective. Cuzlo and Madfall, you have to make it work a bit more. Don't have it near friendly units, otherwise you are going to feel it a lot. On their own, like I've said, they are naff, but having a lot of them really does help you. What you want to perhaps do is have either a lot of chaff units that can bog enemies down for a couple of turns and then charge in later on with your bigger units. That way they can clean up the mess everyone else has made. There's really near enough everything has its use here. Even some of the heroes, which for most armies go, I can see the point, but for these, there is a point to taking things like the King because of Jera's Pendant, the Bandit because, well, a funny little guy with war machine ranged attacks. Why not? You've got the Snagit, which is Hero Killer. Granted, I can't see it working a lot of the time, but it's there. You've got the King on Chariot, which is not that expensive what it does. You've got the Wiz, which for 45 points for a mobile lightning thrower, that's not bad. Troll Bruiser, a tad expensive. I'd like a few more attacks, but it's not bad. The only downfall is most things won't hit that hard because they either hit on 5s or there's just a few things that hit on 4s. There's not much that hits on 3s. I mean, things that hit on 3s, you're looking at the big stuff like the Slasher and, well, the heroes. Nothing else really hits, apart from a Snagit, it hits on a 3. So, yeah, that's the thing. They're weak on their own, but if you have a lot of hordes or legions, you can really bog down the enemy and make it hard for them to get through your lines. Are they a starter army? Yes, but if you enjoy painting your units, have a lot of washers because there's going to be a lot of them. Goodbye for now. Weird Wave.